It is going to be powered by World Sports Betting. It is times.co.za. It is South Sudan 2, Bafana Bafana 3 in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Lindo Pep Guardiola, what do you make of the game, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think Budisa Machimbo Sutso no Bobzin. Firstly, before you pull, I'm happy for the result. There was a period in the game where I was worried. And I'm speaking as a South African football fan now. Yep. I'm happy that we won because I was worried. I saw that the Congo already has 3 points. I think
they won. Congo won, and then they lost yesterday to Uganda. So the group picture very quickly, without taking your time, it is Uganda 4 points, South Africa 4 points, Congo 3 points, and then Sudan 0.
Yeah. So it was going to be, we were going to make things difficult for ourselves. I felt that we were playing against the APC team, the quality in terms of equality, a new country, a new team, new in the national team space as well. I felt that we lack control, in my opinion. We lack control, and the control comes with the dominance as well. You dominate such teams. I felt that the weight of the pass was terrible. The overpasser, the quality on the ball as well. Decision making, more especially in situations where we were not supposed to lose the ball. We lost the ball in high pressure zones, and I feel that big teams must love playing in high pressure zones. Every time Mustole, which is a discussion with Kulumangai, he plays the ball away from me, he pressure whether to Aubrey or whether to Mdau. For me, two players were very important today for South Africa today, which are the two fullbacks, very creative in terms of positioning on and off the ball. I felt that Badlala, something we call it double positioning. They invert in the consolidation phase, play in the progressive line, master to jump at the center line, and then they become guma have spaces as well in the attacking line.
The one who does it great is Modiba.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, what do you see in him? Like, he just keeps getting. I don't know if it's possible to get better and better. He's getting better in his positioning. He's getting better in his composure in the final third. He's getting better at taking shots at goal. I don't know. Like, we always knew that Muda was great at SuperSport United. He played at the Olympics as well in 2016, I think. And then now with Sundowns, he deserved the move to Sundowns. And then we see him in the AFL. I don't know if someone can get better than what he is, but it just keeps getting better with his positioning, understanding of spaces, stuff like that. He's brilliant.
Kolego, versatility, decision making, awareness, vision, positioning, ball player, thinking. But I think his best quality for me is this. He's got unbelievable brain. He takes his time to think. But that also gives him the ability in the final third, the picking the right passes as well. So you check a square pass, police. First touch, very good first touch, left foot finish, go police. But for me, Aubrey, one of the best fullbacks we have in the country. This is living proof. Is he a good 8 or is he a good fullback? In my opinion, he's a fullback that is dominant in coming into midfield. A masterclass of how to play as a fullback again. In the consolidation phase, he acts as a 6. In the progressive line, he becomes an 8. In the attack zone, he becomes a number 10. And also things like a number 10 in terms of when he gets into the final thing, decision, composure, picks the right decisions, makes the right pass. It's proven. What is his best quality? Even though he got more than 4 times into the assist zone, lack of quality.
Unfortunately.
Pick a man.
I would ask you this as a coach, because clearly Mudau, best right back in the country in terms of recovery, in terms of confrontations 1v1 with attackers, but he's poor in the final third. And how do you improve that in a player?
To be honest with you, I feel that I feel that the profile of the boy doesn't say overlap. That's why he was moved from a winger into being a fullback. And there's absolutely nothing wrong. Use the boy's strength. What is the boy's strength? I'm a 1v1 situation. I think we saw his quality today, where he was very dominant, more especially next to Ungezana. I don't know how recovery run and Ungezana, because Ungezana today got absolutely bullied. But before we continue even with that, getting into the front line squad, looking at Ungezana and Russian Dudley, the boy Dudley is a good left footer, a commodity. He's a big asset. Why? He's a left footer, he's tall, he's a ball player, and I like vision as well, awareness. But he's 22 years old. Some of the best high-profile centre-backs we have in this country that have been doing very well. The boy hasn't played so much. Can we give the boy competitive football
one more season? The whole season at Chiefs before he comes to Bafana Bafana.
Besides that, we've got high-profile centre-backs in Bafana Bafana. Grant Kekana won the AFL, was very competitive, one of the best defenders in the league. You can't sacrifice that. We understand the succession plan. We are always ones to say we need a succession plan, we need younger players in the national team. But the boy had a good Kosafa Cup, but not to start ahead of those high profile players for me. Very good ball player. And then you look at Ungezana, for me, in my opinion,
Not an international player. Sorry.
No, honestly speaking, I don't want to be too critical on the boy, but for me, honestly speaking, I can't even profile the boy, because for me, for him to even play ahead of so many high-profile players is questionable for me. Decision-making, Kulego. I think in this country, we must pick a struggle. Do we want centre-backs who are ball players, or sifuna abantu abakwazi ukudluza? Because I questioned the selection even from the first place. I said, looking at those 5 centre-backs, you've got Uspisi, you've got Ungezana, you've got Ukekana, you've got Russian Tutli, you've got Uspisi. I don't know who am I forgetting in those. You look at those profiles, there's no link up. There's no complementing each other. Who complements who there? Maybe at the Russian Tutli with the Kekana can complement each other. Both tall, both have speed, both can read the game very well. But I look at Ngeza and I look at SBC. For me, those are not international profile centre-backs that you need. And then in midfield, for me, which is where the biggest problem is in this country. And this is a discussion we had, a very passionate discussion we had while we were watching the game. And for me, I think we need more midfielders who are progressive. And more especially in the progressive line. There's 2 qualities of those midfielders. There's one, Katimali to protect the defense.
Defensive midfielder.
More especially in the consolidation phase. I look at Uyaya, big fan of Uyaya. I even said to you, I like the boy. I like the profile of the boy. But now the question came and said, what is his best quality?
Is he a defender? Is he an attacker? And he's neither. Yeah. He's not good when you're being attacked. He's not good when you are attacking.
Yeah. So, and I said to me, okay, there's so many qualities, because you look at the fact that Aubrey Nomdao, they are playing closer to him, making it a 3. That's why there's something about is at the ladder of progression in those phases. He's very excellent, where we want to progress the game from high pressure zones into low pressure zones. But now the problem is Guyaya, and this is the problem. They're playing 2 flat no tabs. We must pick a struggle between Yana no tabs. One must be always in the progressive line, because I'm going to Aubrey already creates a double number 6. We need one in the progressive line, but now when you get into progressive line, this is the quality we want. This is what Talente brought. Can we have a forward pass? If not a forward pass, can we have a drive that goes forward, so that we can be dangerous, so that one of the players
they have to commit.
And then they're leaving space behind. We can always find that pass now. Frost, again, moving too much for me, in my opinion. That's why sometimes they are failing to find him, pass, which is the pass lay Pirates kushalulile ku-Sundowns or ku-Pirates, where they feed Umabasa one touch. Frostler is shifting wide.
Lyle Foster,
I mean to say. We are happy wide. But I think also, I don't want to criticize, because I feel that that's the profile of striker that Hugo Bros likes. But for me, I look at that midfield and I'm saying we are struggling in occupy the progressive line. We are not in dangerous.
I think the great point that you made in that debate, because it was very excuse me, it was very passionate. And I love it. I love when we talk tactics and football. The point that you made was, if not him, then who? Because if we look at the Premier Soccer League, the problem we have is that, and I think, and this is the point that I made to counter that, what you're saying, but I really agree with it in the spirit, that there is a dearth or a scarcity of the midfielder who can drive the ball forward in the Premier Soccer League. And I say that for us, we need to find that player who is able to drive the ball forward. It is not enough. And I think it's because of the age of statistics, where the player receives the ball, he passes it sideways. Receive the ball, he passes it sideways. And if you remember, Abotando Yisekuboni and Aboka in the 2010 era, this is when I started noticing that we have a problem with the midfielder. They are no longer about David Modise, about Tabongomeni, it's over. People who receive the ball, they go forward. About Tabomogi, receive the ball, go forward, commit the other team to making mistakes, because they have to come towards the ball. And you make a good point when you say there's a scarcity of those kind of midfielders in the Premier Soccer League. However, with Uyaya, I think that even a Grant Mergerman could be able to drive the ball forward. He could also add numbers in defense. I'm not saying that inherently he's better than him. I'm saying he would provide more energy. But there's not enough of those players in the PSL.
Kulego, I said to you, it might be a coaching detail, but also look at the 5 top teams in the PSL. A Cape Town City, Orlando Pirates, Sundowns, Stellenbosch, and you look at the profile of midfielders they have. How many of progressive midfielders that play in progressive lines? That
maybe a Jaden Adams.
Maybe Mbata.
Can do, Mbata, Jaden Adams. We can say, I can say, well, personally, in my opinion, that Umbata seemingly is able to do this now. Jaden Adams is doing it. There's no need to persist with Spepelos Toilet if he's not able to help you in defense plus help you in attack. But your point is correct that overall there aren't enough of those players.
We are lacking a progressive midfielder. More especially when you want, because modern football, I don't know, it's the game model of all coaches. Because for me, in games like this in Kulego, you don't really need 2 sitters or 2 8s for me, in my opinion. You need double number 10. But because modern coaches and game models, and this is a thing, and this is another thing that I question with the criteria of the technical team that we have from junior national teams with our assistant coach. I expect our assistant coach to be a little bit braver in terms of his decision making. That's why we've got a lot of coaches in this country that don't even have the quality to coach Pirates, Chiefs, Sundowns, but yet they're in national team duties. For me, I say to myself, Uhelman was one of the best wingers in the country. I am saying to them, why can't we find I know the PSL and the product. That's why we are very critical of Usale, because I believe he's playing for Orlando Pirates, and I always say he's the one that, because we've got a Pesitao, you've got a Mkwana, and then maybe you have him go Orlando Pirates is playing for a big team. Can he at least do more? So because we are lacking a right winger in the national team. I say to Abo Helman, you've got Napolis, you've got Mfukeng. For me, play those boys in both wings. I understand that in modern football, coaches say there's some wingers are struggling to play in both wings, more especially the ones that are right-footed. They want to play. They prefer playing on the left because they like cutting in and killing the ball. But for me, I look at smallanyana details and I'm thinking to myself, run with company, but it's not a football team because it decision ends on Muntu one. Because in a football team, an assistant coach is a huge.
We have to work together.
We have to work together. Can I assist you in decision making as well? You know what I mean? But for me, overall, I felt that in the first half we played well. But second half, I felt that it performed.
Do you agree with the overall point that we're supposed to have won 4-5? Because Sudan, you have to think of Sudan here. It's not an opinion. We were watching the fucking game. Yeah. With our eyes, we saw that Sudan were in 6s and 7s. So it's not an irrational thought to think that we should have been able to score 5. And what do you think, generally speaking, happened in the second half that we then lost that domination? First off, do you agree that we should have won this game?
We should have won the game.
Besides the last-minute goal, thank you to Thailand and Mbata. Besides that, we should have won this game without any questions.
For me, I look at 2 things. We could have won the game even more by more than 4 goals. Secondly, I look at the stubbornness of the technical team. It's hot. You need players that can cover distance in midfield. That's the first principle. That's why I felt that we were too sluggish, too open as well. More especially, Maspeti Paul. For me, I look at the smallanyana details and I'm saying to myself, we got the little things wrong. Like playing 2 flat midfielders. We could have had maybe a progressive midfielder. We needed 2 wingers that could isolate our fullbacks and be a little bit dangerous. I didn't see a reason to play a right back, go right wing. I didn't see a reason to play a strike. I didn't see a reason why the detail of a strike I must always occupy my deep spaces or my half. But for me, tactically, I just feel like it's stubbornness of the technical team. Guy Hugo Pros and the technical team. I felt that they could have had a fresher team, a team that has more energy, so that we can counter and be more dangerous. But in the second half, for me in Kuleo, sloppy passes. You know what I mean? The weight of the pass was terrible for me. Decision making at times, more especially in deeper areas, Tatama decisions are wrong. We're playing it deep, short. But for me, I just felt that also, these long balls were causing us problems as well. Dealing with those balls with number 9 was causing us a lot of problems. I think absolutely bullied Ungezana as well. But for me, I just felt that they played according to their strengths, Nalamachita, honestly. They realized that they can't compete with us on the ground.
For sure.
And then they quickly made sure they play first ball and then the second ball. And for me, I felt that they had a joy. They got 2 goals from that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been, thank you very much, Lindo. It would have been an interesting one for them in South Sudan, that they're a young nation and they would have got a draw. If I'm not mistaken, that would have been their first point or their first moment of joy in international football. So I'm glad that it didn't come at our expense. There was no need for us to drop points there because everyone else in the group is going to beat those guys. But anyhow, we hope you enjoyed this video. iDiskiTV Times was betting. Thank you for watching us.